Back again with another episode of Schnozzcast. Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
And just in case you didn't hear, welcome.
And hey, in case you're wondering whether we want you here or not, you are welcome to be here. We are happy to have you here. You got Cory and Todd and Bob.
And don't forget the fourth.
Indy, baby.
Indiana Jones.
Our co-floofers.
Yeah. Nick Bader's out on special assignment. We will catch up with him again real soon. So if you're waiting to get your Nick fix, you'll have to wait just a little bit longer.
Nick fix.
It didn't rhyme, but I'm like, it's a near rhyme. Hey, if you're new to the show, thank you again for joining. If you were just here listening to us, it's not a secret. Sometimes we do 2 episodes on a weekend. And this particular one, we will release officially out in the streaming services at some point in the future. But if you are live, then thank you for being here and catching us in all of our glory before we can edit this down to something that makes us look smart and attractive. But if you want to go back and listen to past episodes, you can find us on the streaming services anywhere where you can find a podcast, especially YouTube. I'm not going to name all the other ones. Wherever you would get a podcast from, you will find us there. You can also email us at schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you can call or text us anytime, day or night, especially right now where the phone is in Nick's possession, but he's not in the room. And how hilarious would that be on 618-SHOCKER?
Or you can call us direct line at 586.
555-3468.
588-2300. Call Nick.
Dude, Nick and I have been friends for about 20 years now. And I think that might be the one thing that would potentially end that friendship.
That friendship, if you gave his phone number out to the internet at large,
if I gave his
caused him to change his
number.
I think so. If you did it to me and I wasn't here, I might. I wouldn't be happy with you.
I figured you wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know if it would end a friendship, but
555 dingle dangle or jingle jangle.
Jingle dangle.
Jingle dangle. Jingle jangle.
Oh, Todd, where were we the other day? And first, it wasn't referencing the movie, but someone did say something about jingle jangle. And I nearly pissed myself because I was like, "Oh, that's Nick's favorite movie."
Favorite movie, exactly.
All you're trying to do, Todd, is just educate a white man on black cinema.
Brother, man.
That's it.
Absolutely.
The old
Nothing wrong with
jangle.
Bringing him up.
Yeah,
up.
there's no difference between that and me trying to expose him to westerns. It's just another genre of film. We don't see color in this podcast.
No.
I do.
No, never.
I'm like, I do very clearly. I see privilege. I see privilege.
By the way, I also have in my notes that because it's been, apart from the one we just finished, it's been a month or so since we've done a live episode, but I have notes in here to bring grape nuts and milk, MELK, to a show, because if you remember, this is a long time ago.
That's how Nick says it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's never had grape nuts. And you and I were like, what the fuck? How have you never had grape nuts? So
see, now
we vowed on that episode to bring it to the show and he would eat it.
See, but I would rather see him eat crack on O'Brien.
Baby steps, Cory.
Because grape nuts they're not bad.
They're
Crack on,
yeah.
Well,
it's just hard.
It's not Frosted Flakes by any means, but
yeah,
I don't like any of those. But
hey, Todd, have you ever had crack on O'Brien?
I think that I have.
Oh,
first of all, it's the only cereal that you can leave in milk for hours. Yeah. And it's not going to get soggy on you.
Yeah,
so that's already a plus right there.
But grape nuts will at least get soggy.
Yeah, grape nuts will get soggy.
Yeah.
No, crack on O'Brien, man. It's that stuff stays strong. You can leave that out in a hurricane, and it's still going to be crispy.
Yeah, but it's fucking good.
It is good.
Yeah,
expensive as shit.
I want to hear from the crackling oat brand aficionados out there, the enthusiasts, to back us up. We can't be the only ones. Yeah.
Have we done our top 5 favorite cereals? Is that a thing we've done?
I feel like it might have been.
Maybe, but you know what? Fuck it. We could do it again.
Yeah,
we could do it
that-
again.
Top
We don't
five.
have a top five.
Yeah.
We used to have a segment where we did top five this, top five that, every now and again, but we never came up with a jingle for it, an intro. But we could. You want to start with top five? Let's do top five cereals.
Go ahead, Todd.
Oh,
Sounds like
yeah.
you had some on the mind.
I do. And,
Oh,
and
hey,
these are,
Todd, I'm going to cut you off real quick. Before we do your top five
yeah,
cereals,
yeah.
we got a shot we poured that
We
is sitting here,
poured it before we started, but
and then we completely
before it
forgot
starts,
about
yeah,
before it gets soggy.
right, exactly.
it. Don't need no soggy shots.
No. So if you're audience members, please pour
Sorry.
yourself a shot and join us. Let's not pretend as though you're not listening to us at a time in which you could absolutely have a shot. Just go ahead and pour one.
Schnozzcast.
What?
Soggy shots? That'd be hard to
Soggy
say
shots,
fast.
baby.
3 times.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Nope.
You sure?
I
do
almost messed it up saying
I'll
it
do
slowly.
it. Fuck it.
Try it.
Schnozzcast soggy shots. Schnozzcast soggy shots. Schnozzcast soggy shots.
It wasn't that fast.
Yeah, it wasn't
You kinda
that
freaking
fast.
Guided it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's pretty
be,
weak.
be faster then, dude. Go ahead.
Schnozzcast soggy shots. Schnozzcast cut shots.
It is a hard one.
I
It
think
is
you
a
will
hard one.
agree
It is
that
a
my
hard one.
speed was
It's a
the
tongue
appropriate
twister.
speed. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of
Oh,
push-
yeah.
Shut up.
Soggy
Rock
shots.
arm, jumping jack. Push up. Sit up. Rock arm, jumping jack.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
To Indy.
Yeah. Did you guys know that on
That's
his
the good stuff.
paperwork, his name is officially Indiana Jones?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I didn't.
I feel like we should have brought that up on the first one too. And
Do you know what Max's is, Bob?
Maximus
Maximilian.
Decimus Meridius.
Nope.
Oh, that's a
Lord-
missed opportunity, dude. That's a gladiator
Lord
call.
King Maximus of Bob Rankin.
Shut up. Shut your dirty mouth. If that's his real name, I want to see the paperwork. Send me the photo.
That's
Screenshot
the
it.
AKC. That's the AKC.
Dude, if my name was in his dog's name, oh my god. I'm not sure there's a more valuable piece of information I've learned this year yet than that.
Anytime Bob goes anywhere, that's how he presents his ID is
Oh fuck yes, I would. Are you
a
kidding me?
photocopy of your dog's vet certificate.
You're not hot shit. You're podcasting. Like, check this out, bitch. Yeah, I should have called him Dr. Indiana Jones, but I fucking fail.
Yes.
Should have called him Henry Jones Jr. really on the on the paperwork, but I also didn't know that at the time.
So Todd, your top five cereals. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this and this isn't as a kid, but like now, my top 5 go-to, man. I love me.
Well, hold on.
some
Whoa,
Honey Bunch of
whoa. That's a great point. Are you doing top 5? I think we should
Right now.
establish. Let's do
Right
it right
now.
now. Your top 5
right
now.
now.
They can include
now.
cereals that you liked as a kid, but I'm assuming that means
100%.
it's in your top 5 right now today.
Right this instant, baby. Right
Okay.
this instant.
Okay, do it.
You ready?
Yeah,
You ready?
born ready.
Number 5, Honey Bunches of Oats, just plain.
What do you mean, no milk?
Number 4.
What do you mean, plain?
No. I mean,
Plain what?
like, well, hold on. Well, wait till you hear number 4.
Oh, Jesus.
Chocolate Honey Bunches of Oats.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I need a
sensing a
ruling
pattern
from
here.
I need a ruling from the judges. Is that valid?
I mean, I'm going to give it to him.
They're different. They're different boxes.
Yeah, I
It's
suppose.
2 different flavors.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Keep going.
And then I love.
If you say fucking vanilla Honey Bunches of Oats, you are fucking disqualified from this entire conversation.
No, I'm switching up, bro. Special K with chocolate, bro.
Hang on, is that the one with the chocolate and the berries?
That's number 2.
That is pretty good shit.
You saw deep into his soul and you're like, I know what's coming next.
Yeah.
And number 1 all time, and baby, I liked it as a kid, and I still like it today. Life, baby, just plain old life. Life is the Bombay, dude. But those 5, that's my top 5.
Okay.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough.
All right. You want to go next, Cory? You want me to go?
You go if you got yours. Go ahead.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, sons of bitches! Bob's light just shut down.
Light died.
Hang on, I'm gonna bring you and Todd up, and I'll get that fixed.
Gotcha. Yeah. So my top 5. I mean, based on what we were just talking about, I got to go with, I guess I'm starting with 1 and going down to 5. Number 1, Cracklin' Oat Bran. Cracklin' Oat Bran, it is absolutely the best cereal you can buy. It is expensive, but it is worth it. Especially if you're one of those people who are like,
expensive now?
This is more expensive than most. If you look at anything, especially like if you go to Kroger or any, major supermarket, they're going to have a sign right below the product that tells you what you're paying per ounce of whatever you're buying. Yep. This is a ridiculously high amount per ounce that you're paying for what you're getting. It's not a huge box, but I'm telling you.
Putting it on my list, and I'm going to try some of that.
Fuck yes. And especially if you're one of those people that pour yourself a bowl of cereal and then you're like, oh, hold on a minute. Before I eat the cereal, I have to go take a shit. That's going to take 30 minutes. Oh, and I also have to attend a meeting that lasts an hour. Oh, and I also need to go pick up my car from the shop. And then I'm going to come back and eat this cereal, even though it's been sitting in milk the whole time. You will have the exact same experience as someone who just poured a bowl of Cracklin' Oat Bran and poured milk on it.
You know what's funny about that, though, Bob? Yeah. All those delays, the thing that ruins the cereal for me, and I don't like soggy cereals, so I'm intrigued to try it. But you know what's in those scenarios that you served up?
Yep.
I like my meal, like lunch and dinner foods, hot, and not spicy. I like them to be heated well. Mm-hmm. But my cereals, my milk's got to be ice cold. So even if Cracklin' Oat Bran stays crispy and crunchy for hours, that warm milk is going to turn me off.
The
milk's got to be icy cold. It's got exactly, the milk's got to be icy cold. So so you're saying, but what I'm hearing here is I can pour off that warm ass milk. And then
if you got delayed, right? If you got delayed and you're like, oh fuck, I had to, the dog got into something and I had to go clean him up, and it took 30 minutes. You can absolutely drain off that milk, refresh it with absolutely ice cold milk, and you'll be totally fine.
I'm adding it to my list. Cracklin' Oat Bran will be at the table. I'll give you my review next week.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay, so after Cracklin' Oat Bran, I got to go Cinnamon Life. You inspired me with your list, sir. And I'm like, fuck yeah. But it's got to be the Cinnamon Life. The regular Life, I'm like, that's good, but not. I got to go with the cinnamon for myself personally. And
we were too poor for the cinnamon.
Well, so that's a great point, and I want to bring that up. The reason I asked earlier, like, oh, is this the list from when you were a kid, or is this like right now? And the reason is because it's important, because when I was a kid, I didn't get good cereal to eat. I talked about this in the show before. I got fucking fiber fucking colon blow. If it had fiber in the name, that's what my mom was a nurse, and she's like, my kids need fiber. I hear fiber's great for kids. And so everything we had was like the sugary cereals, the sugar smacks, the Cocoa Puffs. Man.
We just had Puffs.
We didn't get any
There's just shit. Puffs. No, Bob.
You got not cocoa. The government Puffs.
Yes, Puffs. Puff. Puffs. That's it. That was it. In a clear freaking bag. It didn't even come in a box. It came in a bag. Puffs.
By the way, you can still buy that today. Even if my Kroger has bags of cereal for those people who are like, listen, my kid doesn't deserve name brand cereal. He's just going to eat whatever I buy, and he's going to like it. And I don't want to hear any fucking babbling and burbling. Just fucking shut your mouth and eat your cereal. You're lucky to have it. So this is cereal that is my top 5 right now, because for me to have a top 5 from when I was a kid, I might as well just fucking there was no top 5. It was all bottom 5. Every morning was an exercise in like, this sucks. I'm only eating this because I'm hungry. There was no enjoyment out of it. So Cracklin' Oat Bran number 1, Cinnamon Life number 2. Fruit Loops. I'm pretty partial to Fruit Loops.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
Now they get soggy pretty fast. You got to eat a bowl of Fruit Loops really fucking quick.
Quick, fast, in a hurry, brother.
Yeah. There's no dawdling. If you get a call and you're like, oh, I need you to jump in this meeting, I'm like, well, I guess there goes that bowl of cereal.
Exactly.
Sorry, Cory. We clearly I got to rethink this whole thing with the subwoofer and the fucking the wood pile.
No,
So,
I shouldn't have used this one in the first place. I should have set that one up.
oh, it's all right.
So.
Hey, Gina knew what
We
puffs were too. She's like, puffs were like styrofoam. Yeah, they're like bad styrofoam. It was like the styrofoam that didn't make the cut. They're like, oh, this isn't good packing material. We should just make it cereal.
So that's number 3, Fruit Loops. I'm gonna say Special K with strawberries.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm partial to that. That's a good flavor. And last one, I gotta go Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Between Kellogg's and Post, they definitely had. I could do without the nuts. I don't really care about the nuts, but the number of raisins. And by the way, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, okay, I'm having Raisin Bran. I'm not satisfied with the number of raisins in my bowl. I guess that's just how life is. But then you're an adult and you're like, wait, I can afford to buy a fucking
More
giant
raisins.
bag of raisins, and I could just have a bowl of raisins with a few little bran flakes. That's my breakfast. It's, I've made this point to my kids on and off throughout their childhood that, you know, when you grow up and you move out and you get your own place and you get a regular job, one of the joys of life is that you can do all the things that you didn't know you could do. You just didn't know. You didn't think about it.
Yeah.
You never thought to ask, and I did not warn you about it because I did the best I could, which wasn't necessarily always great. And now you can be like, yes, for it's the same thing when you hear people talk about like, this is the last thing I'll say because I know we're getting far afield from the top 5 and Cory's going to give his. But when you hear people talk about like trail mix and people are like, oh, what kind of trail mix do you like? Oh, I like this guy. I like the monster mix so you get at Target, blah, 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 blah. And then someone's always like, you guys are fucking idiots. You buy yourself a giant bag of whatever kind of nuts you love, whether it's fucking cashews or whether it's almonds or whatever.
And just make it yourself.
And then you buy a giant bag of M&Ms and then a giant bag of raisins and you throw them all in and you just fucking shake that shit up and there's your trail mix. It's the best trail mix you ever have. And you just sit there and you're like, oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, why haven't I been doing this?
This is so stupid.
I am
but
stupid.
who buys freaking who buys yogurt chips? Nobody.
I've bought yogurt chips.
Yeah, they're actually very good.
I don't buy. But that's what.
Why do you not buy them?
Because I don't buy them by themselves.
What's your beef with yogurt chips, dude?
I like them in the trail mix already pre-blended. I'm not a psychopath. I don't just buy yogurt chips.
No, but you can buy. But that's the point. That is the point. That whether it's yogurt chips or fucking cashews or M&Ms or fucking little chocolate drop. Semi-sweet morsels.
You can buy.
Here's why
that won't work,
you want and throw it in a big ass bowl and shake it all up. It doesn't matter what it is.
You know why I can't do that, Bob?
Why is that?
Because I'd have a big bowl of freaking cashews and Ghirardelli chocolates and a couple of raisins freaking shaking around in a big ass bag with corners and freaking sharps all over the place. I need somebody to premix that shit for me. I can't do that. Can't have it.
Well, that's why you get married, I guess. You guys married to do it. And you're like, listen, Mary, here's the deal. I will cook you for dinner the most amazing meals you've ever had that you couldn't possibly cook for yourself because I love you. And in exchange, all I need for you is to make my fucking trail mix.
I'm with Gina. I'd like my shit already mixed up. But that way, because again, I'm not buying my new mix that I love from Costco has the dried cranberry. I love the craisins and the dried blueberries.
Shout out to the craisins.
Yeah.
I love me some craisins, man. But I don't freaking, I don't want to do that work.
All right. So what do you got, Cory?
Hey, before Cory goes, Bob, now I'm bummed.
What are you bummed about?
Because I kind of set myself up for failure here. I'm not backing off my top 5, but it's not what Gina said something about blueberries. But you know what one of my favorite cereals of all time is? I don't get it anymore because I know it's not good for. But Captain Crunch with those red berries in it. I don't like peanut butter, but that Captain Crunch with those red berries, that's the shit.
I was never a Captain Crunch guy, and when I became an adult and was able to buy my own sugary cereal, that's just not one of the ones that I gravitated toward. So
Yeah.
I can't. I'll take
Count
your word
chocolate?
for it. I'll tell you what.
Chocolate.
Let's make a deal. Because if you're buying Crackling Oat Bran, what am I supposed to buy now?
Buy that Captain Crunch with the red crunch berries in it. That
Red
was
Brun-
the shit.
Crunch Berries, Captain Crunch. Got it.
There you go.
I'm actually making a note in the Schnozzcast.
Yeah, OneNote?
OneNote. Yeah. That I need to buy.
I love it. I love it. Sorry to cut you off, Cory.
No, he's still trying to fix the light. So I think what we may do is I can't even do this because I think Cory's going to be mad at me because he can't put up the artwork. What can we do? We could
talk about more cereals. So Gina said she liked the blueberry.
blueberries. Oh,
Blueberries, yeah.
That's a great.
And
See, here's the part where I'm like, I feel like we've talked about this before, but the whole family of monster cereals: blueberry, Frankenberry,
Count
Chocula. Who's the Wolfman?
Yeah, boy.
There was a Wolfman
I
cereal.
remember.
I can tell you in a second.
Yeah, and there was another one that I think we talked about in the podcast a year or two ago. That was like a Halloween period, like reissue.
Was it Fruit Brute?
Fruit Brute.
Yeah.
That's what I had. Yeah, I have bought.
I've never heard of it.
Neither have I.
I'll tell you what, Todd. When I was up in Alma for homecoming, probably 2 years ago, and Carol Fletcher and I were shopping separately at Walmart, and she sent me a text with a picture of a Fruit Brute, and I'm like, "What fucking aisle are you in?" And I went over there, and I just basically did that thing that everyone who's never been able to afford it wish they could do. And I put my arm out, and I just fucking swept all the Fruit Brute boxes off of the shelf into my cart. And
How
I
many
bought
were
them.
there?
8.
8, Jesus.
And I brought them home. I'm like, I've never seen this before. I didn't know this is a special Halloween only Walmart special Fruit Brute cereal. I bought every box they had in the Alma Walmart.
Yeah,
and I
so-
brought them home.
So there's Fruit Brute, Frankenberry, Blueberry,
Mm-hmm.
and Count Chocula.
Just the 4?
What was the strawberry?
Yeah.
There was a strawberry one, I thought.
That's the Frankenberry.
Yeah.
Oh, Frankenberry strawberry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Todd. I'm just now getting around to typing this into OneNote. I'm supposed to buy Captain Crunch
Captain Crunch with the crunch berries, and much like your
with
Fruit
the red
Loops-
berries.
Yes, with the red crunch berries, they're called. And much like the Fruit Loops, don't let that shit freaking sit. Don't dilly dally, man. Pour that milk out there. And
Get to work.
get to it.
All right, fair enough. All right, Cory, your top 5.
All right, so no specific order for these.
Okay.
But as we've already discussed, I am a fan of Crackling Oat Bran. I would also have to throw Reese's Puffs in there.
Okay,
A Reese's Puff. I've never heard of that.
Oh,
I've seen it. I love Reese's as a candy.
Is
Yeah.
it peanut
I've
butter
never-
or is it chocolate?
it's
Or is
peanut
it
butter
both?
and chocolate,
Yeah,
buddy.
that's Reese's. It's both.
Yeah. Oreo O's.
Okay.
And then to be a little on the better side of not too sugary of cereals, but I know Raisin Bran's not, it's still sugary, but Raisin Bran would probably be my healthy choice.
Sure.
And then
Post or Kellogg's? That's important. They're different.
It is. They are different. Very different.
Kellogg's has 2 scoops of Raisin Bran. That's why they were my favorite.
then I
It
guess
was one of the
has-
few things I could tell my mom to buy. Was if
Exactly.
you're going to
And
give me Raisin Bran, it better be Kellogg's, not Post.
And Post
Yeah.
was ripped off, and it has steroids in it.
Oh yeah, so it'd make your dick small.
then I
Dick small and your tits huge.
no steroid. What? That's estrogen. That's
Is that not how steroids work?
No.
Okay, sorry. Keep going.
And then I think my last one. This I don't know if you guys have even heard of this, but Wendy's Frosty cereal.
No way. No way.
Fucking dirty mouth.
Guess what?
I'm gonna.
That
get
is a
You
thing?
freaking that
Very
better
hard-
exist, dude. That
Very
better
hard to
exist.
find. Very hard to find.
Oh, okay. Very hard to find. Now I'm looking, trying
I
to
gotta have
find
that.
it.
I gotta have that. Gotta have it.
God damn it.
Gotta have it.
Yeah. So if I'm gonna go on a search for this, where would I even start?
Amazon.
I mean, Amazon's always the go-to for anything you want in a relatively quick and easy, painless way. But okay, Wendy's Frosty cereal. Tell me, just give me a Cliff Notes spoiler-free version of what it tastes like. Is it taste like I'm fucking eating a Frosty?
It's pretty amazing.
That doesn't help me at all. Okay.
Sorry.
But that's fair. Okay. We can do that.
It says it's discontinued.
That's why it's very hard
How
to
long
find.
ago did you have it?
It's been some time.
Wally World,
Right.
Bob.
Park's closed, man. Moose on Front should have told you.
No, Walmart. Oh,
Walmart?
man.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at. $9 for a box.
Wow, those are crackling oat brand prices.
Yeah.
All right.
That is definitely crack on a brand price.
That's fair. All right, we got to move on, boys. Let's jump over to booze news real quick.
And now it's time for booze news.
All right,
Nick.
Hey, buddy.
I just got a couple of quick things here for you. First one is researchers at UC Santa Cruz and Wash U discovered that small regions of the brain can actually take micronaps while other regions of the brain are awake and vice versa. That's all I have to say about that, but I think it explains a lot, and we can move on. The second thing...
I think I just want my brain to take a full nap. I don't need a micro nap.
It's science, buddy. That's
I mean,
all I know.
Sometimes fuck science. That's all I got to say.
Listen, I'm just glad that what I've already been doing for most of my adult life is actually now a thing that's scientifically proven.
Micro naps?
Yep.
You've been taking micro naps your entire adult life.
Yeah. Did you? Let me repeat this for you because I
No,
feel like,
I
feel
heard
like
it.
you weren't listening.
I heard it.
I feel like you weren't listening. Researchers at UC Santa Cruz and Wash U discovered that small regions of the brain can actually take micronaps while other regions of the brain are awake and vice versa.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't.
So I'm not taking micronaps. Parts of my brain are, while other
makes
parts are
sense.
like, "What's up, boys?" And other parts are
That
like,
makes sense.
So that's why you can't remember shit, is what you're saying.
"Bingo, buddy."
Nice try.
Second
But-
thing.
Bingo, bango.
Second news thing. The Spanish government discovered an employee had been skipping work for 6 years while recognizing him for his dedication to the job. Joaquin Garcia, a 69-year-old building supervisor at a water treatment facility in Spain, managed to rake in $242,000 over 6 years of work that he did not do thanks to a miscommunication between two local departments that resulted in neither one overseeing his work. Shout out to those folks. Ironically, he was being nominated for an award for his 20-year tenure when someone finally said, "Hold on a minute." They busted him. So,
Oh, man.
how many of us have not dreamed of this
that'd be
very
amazing.
scenario? Right. Only to get away with it for 6 years, only to be discovered while you were getting your golden trophy.
Dude.
I mean, there was no way that he didn't
He
know.
could,
Like,
how
just
did he,
show up
how
to
did he
that.
sleep? Well, wait a minute, though. How did he sleep at night for like 5 years and 11 months?
Easily.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
No.
First of all-
it seems like you'd be worried every night they're going to bust me. There's no way this can go on for more than a month.
Let me enlighten you, Todd, on. I think I speak for John Q. Public here. When people start to game the system, they start to cheat. They will do so for a certain amount of time, and that can vary based on the person and how much of a psychopath they are. A certain amount of time in which they are filled with anxiety and they're trying to figure out, okay, if I stay within these lines, I can get away with the tomfuckery that I'm trying to get away with. But after a certain amount of time and they don't get caught, people get fucking brazen. And they go, I'm going to
Well,
fucking
yeah, why wouldn't
push.
you?
I'm going to start sleeping like a baby. I'm going to start thinking I've got everybody snowed and I will never be discovered. I think that's a generic, general, like human being trait.
Dude, after 6 months, you'd be like, okay, well, things are going pretty
No.
good. After a year, you'd be
No.
like, well,
Yeah,
all
I got
right.
this in the bag.
And then after 3 years, you're like, well, clearly no one's figuring this
Yeah,
out.
right. I think for sure the last 4 years of those 6, he slept like a goddamn
Yeah. There's no way.
baby. Never thought about it once.
Yeah, checks just keep showing up. It's 4 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to work.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! No way! I would have busted myself because I would have just showed up going, "Hey, I want to make sure that somebody recognizes me after freaking."
And we don't really know how smart Joaquin Garcia was. He was 69, so let's assume he's had a life worth of experiences of trying to fuck people over. And at the end of the day, he probably recognized the fact that these two different departments each had a responsibility for overseeing him, but that somehow each one thought the other one was doing it. Like, there's no way he didn't know that, right?
Right.
So he probably said, like, listen, somehow I have stumbled into the sweet life, and I'm going to ride this gravy train until it. I mean, he made $242,000 over 6 years.
Over 6 years.
Yeah. So he wasn't like setting the world on fire with a 40-some $1,000 a year salary, but he definitely could have been working another job this whole time. We don't know.
Hopefully, he was.
I feel like someone like that is probably not working another job.
But look, if you can,
I'm sorry,
if you can get paid for a job that people think you're doing but you're not doing, but also get paid for another job that's not too hard, but you're getting double salary. A lot of people would take that. A lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I just don't see him being a person that would like
A go-getter.
right. Yeah,
No, definitely not a go-getter. All right, so that's booze news for the week, boys. Let's thanks for indulging me in that. Let's jump over into you know what? Listen. This episode may not come out. You may be hearing this episode and it may be October, maybe November. It may be December of 2024. I'm not sure what date it is today. But we were recording this in mid-August 2024, and the Olympics have just ended in the last week or so. And we were taking like a month off for the summer, and Todd Dillon has untold number of grievances. We may have to cancel all the rest of the segments of the show and just give Todd the ability to air all of his grievances for the Olympics.
The Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it. As a rain blows upon him, I realize that...
All right, so many grievances, I got to cut this song a little bit short. So Todd, the floor is yours, sir. What is stuck in your craw this week?
Oh, man. Thank you, Bob. Here is my grievance. My grievance today, and it sucks that Nick isn't here to bear witness to this grievance, because I think he'd be down with me on this. My grievance is with the Olympics, and specifically the women's Olympics gymnastic judges. I got to give them an F-. And, you know, Bob, I try my best not to judge, especially the judges.
Wait, what? You try your best not to what?
Know, to judge anybody.
Judge the judges?
Especially the judges. I just like to...
Agree, disagree, I think, on that. But
well, today,
keep going.
I'm judging the judges.
Uh-huh.
You want to hear my beef? My grievance?
Born
These
ready, sir.
mofos. These mofos. Dude, I have 3 words to describe the judging of the women's gymnastics Olympics. Come on, man. These people could not get it more wrong. Let me set the stage for it.
It's a little more than 3 words. Corey's looking at me going like 1, 2, 3. Nope.
I said, come on, man.
It checks out. It tracks.
Yeah.
Come on, man. There were so many great stories. The Olympics, especially women's gymnastics, was so awesome. So awesome. Simone Biles, the GOAT, greatest of all time. came back, got her thrown back after having the yips in Tokyo. She came back, got it done. But these judges screwed things up. And I should have known. Here's the thing. They judge gymnastics and they go to the 1,000th of a point. And human beings doing the calculations. You know it's flawed right from the get-go. But let me give you a little peek behind the curtain. So there's a gymnast from Romania. Her name is Sabrina Voinea. She had an incredible, great floor exercise, Bob. Great exercise. Kicked ass, took names.
Todd, is it that you just don't think I like gymnastics? Is that why you're addressing everything to Bob?
I didn't even know you were there, Corey.
Oh,
I'll get to you in a second. I'll get to you in a second. And when I wrote it out, you came second. Short, we go in height order. Anyway, Jesus.
Then why are you talking? sorry, but I'll stop interrupting you. My bad.
You left the door open and you walked right through.
Right through. Sabrina threw down one hell of a floor exercise routine, Bob. And you too, Corey.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
But she only received a 13.7 score because she had taken a 1/10 deduction for a penalty for stepping out of bounds. But here's the weird thing. Even before the next gymnast came up, they reviewed it, and she never stepped out of bounds. And the commentators are like, somebody should correct that because she never stepped out of bounds. She wasn't close. And in the floor exercise, if you've ever seen it, the athlete themselves might not know that they've actually stepped out of bounds unless they go way out. So she wouldn't have known, but someone on the team should have been watching. All right, so fast forward a little bit. Next, you have another Romanian gymnast, Ana Barbuso. She has a really good performance on the floor exercises, and she also gets a 13.7, and it vaults her into third position, ahead of Anna, who didn't get a 13.7, but because of earlier things, she fell behind and got that penalty, even though she really didn't get a penalty. Now, the next thing that happens, Jordan Childs, our own U.S.'s own Jordan Childs, goes out and throws up a really, really, really nice floor exercise. Crushes it. Does a good job. She then gets a 13.66. So she is short of the medals, and they announce, Ana Barbuso, you're getting the bronze medal. But wait a minute. One of the U.S. coaches says, I saw the score, and I noticed that they put the difficulty rating in there. And again, I'm going to go back to this, the fact that human beings measure these scores to the 1,000th of a point. Silliness to me. Anyway, a coach goes up and says, hey, wait a minute. I think that you applied the wrong difficulty multiplier to her score. Can you review it? And they're like, we did. So after this young Romanian athlete, Ana Barbuso, is celebrating her third place finish that really, quite honestly, she shouldn't have gotten anyway. They strip it away from her, give it to Jordan Childs, and that's the picture you've seen all over the newspapers. Jordan Childs and Simone Biles saluting. I think it's Rebecca Andrade, the woman from Brazil who won the gold medal. But anyway, there's more drama, bros. Corey, can you get this? They find out, and after a couple of days, they strip Jordan Childs of her bronze medal. You know why, Corey? Do you know why?
Because she stepped out?
No. Didn't step out. They claimed that the coach who challenged the difficulty score showed up to the table and made the challenge 4 seconds late. There's a 1 minute time period to dispute any of the judging of the gymnastics. So there's been a whole here's my beef. Not only did Jordan, and by the way, they're stripping Jordan Childs of her bronze medal. And so now the Romanian girl, Ana Barbuso, is getting the bronze medal because she was in third place. But nobody actually challenged my girl, Sabrina, I'm trying to pronounce her name correctly, Voinea. She never stepped out of bounds.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
The judges totally screwed this up. And here's the thing. I get that there's a 1 minute challenge rule, which again, why 1 minute, 3 minutes, get it right or get it or don't get it right. Why is there a time limit? But I get that there is a challenge rule timeline so that you don't do it in perpetuity. Although that's why I love golf. You know what? If you get caught cheating in golf, you can get your trophy taken away 18 years after the fact. Love it. Because it's actually not objective. It's more subjective. Or subjective, it's more objective. I get that wrong. Sorry. Anyway, my beef, my grievance, these judges screwed up from the get-go for 3 gymnasts. And now 2 gymnasts who actually deserve a medal. Well, actually only one. The woman from Romania who got called for out of bounds when she was never out of bounds. Really, legitimately, that 1/10 of a point deduction should have led to her getting the bronze medal. But they're actually giving it to the person who really finished in 5th place. So they're getting it all sorts of wrong. And that is my grievance. The the Gymnastics Association needs to fix this, because I get that the layperson, people like me, might not understand all the intricacies of it, but you got to be kidding me that these people are ripping away medals from people who are deserving of a medal and still getting it wrong in the way that they actually present it. I don't think that the coaches should have been on the hook to challenge a step out of bounds when there was no out of bounds. So fix this shit so that the Olympics can be fair. That's my grievance.
There's no way Nick would have made it through that whole thing if he was here. There's just no way.
I know.
No
Thanks
way.
for not coming, Nick.
So hats off to you, sir, for having the creative license to take that as long as you could. Before we
I'm pissed.
Before we get into how pissed you are, we got a shot sitting here. So
Fill her up, Todd.
Fill her up, sir.
I'm on it.
Cory, what's your response to that grievance?
I mean, there was a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
But I feel like the coach was kind of at fault for the. You know the rules. If you're a coach at that level, you should know there's a minute.
That's what I was thinking.
Hey, not for nothing, Cory. That actually meant the minute versus a minute 4 has actually also been disproven. But in my mind, that piece matters less, because the coach shouldn't have to dispute the judge's fuck up in the first place.
But that happens in all sports now. Baseball, football, hockey, basketball.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's in every sport.
That's a good point.
Here's my next point then.
I think I
get it right before they actually, within that 1 minute, the next person hadn't gone up. Get it right before you move to the next person then. So why put a minute? Get it right before the next competitor goes up. There shouldn't be a minute. The fact that they challenged the other next participant wasn't up within 1 minute of the time that they thought, hey, because they, again, remember, the judges behind the curtain.
Okay. Yeah, no, I
pick the
see
difficulty score.
I see what you're saying now.
So there's time to go over there and go, hey, wait a minute. The difficulty should have been 7.1 when really you assigned it 6.1. It'll take 1 minute to walk over to the booth and go, hey, you got that wrong.
I mean, apparently that there's a reason, or someone had a reason for putting that rule in place. Why it's a minute, I don't know, obviously. But again, being the coach, those are the rules. You should be very aware of that. And because just like when I believe we were talking about the draft and how these war rooms only have a certain amount of time to phone in or deal with other teams, and they only have a certain amount of time, 20 minutes, to make their call to say this is who we're picking. And there's been in years past that teams have lost a pick because they went over that 20-minute allotment. It's like how
I get it.
Again, there's so many people in those rooms.
Yeah.
How did someone not realize that they were going over or coming close to the 20-minute mark? Like that entire room should be fired.
I get it.
I think that coach should be fired.
My take on that is, I think the Romanian, and that's the tough part. The Romanians got it all sorts of wrong because again, when they took that medal away from her during the actual timing of the event, she was crushed and she was wrong.
Well, yeah, of course.
But I think that the same coaching staff coached the other gymnast who, with that 1/10 of a point, her 13.7 would have been a 13.8, and she would beat both of them. Ultimately, the Romanian who finished in 5th should be the angriest because she actually won the bronze medal, and she's not even in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I see both sides of the fence. It's again, and that would be something that, I'd like to research a little bit more to really figure out, why some rules are in place and, why there is that certain time limit and all that. So it's kind of hard to speak on. I mean, we can sit here all day and have our own opinion on it, but again, I don't think too many of us
gymnastics
know the facts behind
this. Exactly. Fixed gymnastics. It's too fluffy. I mean, ultimately, the other interesting thing with gymnastics, especially the floor exercises, Simone Biles, and don't get me wrong, she is amazing, but she scores because of the difficulty of her events. It's not as crisp, especially the landings, as everyone else, but she so outscores them just on the physicality and athleticism, which, again, it's amazing. They were showing the fact that she's 11 feet in the air. She's actually higher than most of the male competitors when she's doing her floor routine runs, which she's an amazing athlete, but her landings aren't as crisp because she's 18 feet in the air. But the fact that they're trying to measure to the thousandth of a point, and then they're getting it wrong at every turn, and people then are getting medals taken away. I think it's kind of funny. I think it would cheapen it if they all got bronze medals, but at the end of the day, to strip it away from her, especially being that there's a legitimate dispute that the coach actually entered the plea before the 1 minute mark was over. Again,
yeah.
How do you make it right?
I don't know, buddy.
So 2 things, guys. Number 1, Cory, is there any way is there a dimmer, like not as bright on the
Yeah, I kind of realized that. But
I'm just looking at it going like it's kind of washed out, and I didn't know if there were different brightnesses.
No, unfortunately, there's not.
Okay. Second thing.
You guys look really good, by the way.
I'm seeing that Indy's finally moving, and I was worried that people thought that we had a dead dog on camera. But yeah, he's
just a sleepy dog.
He's very sleepy.
Yeah.
He's also very he'll lay there and be like.
Shots, boys.
Oh yes, we got these in here.
Yeah, these are probably worn by now. Join us, everybody. One more shot, potentially the last shot of the episode.
We'll see.
We'll see. Cheers.
Salute.
All right. Moving on to a little segment we'd like to call Gentleman's Agreement.
Gentlemen's Agreement. Gentlemen's Agreement. Gentlemen's Agreement. Gentlemen's Agreement. Gentlemen's Agreement. Gentlemen's Agreement. Oh, gentlemen's agreement. Oh, it's the motherfucking gentleman's agreement.
All right. Gentleman's Agreement. This segment, in case you're new to the show or you forgot or you're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. It is movies or TV shows that we assign to each other based on what we liked and what we think that our co-hosts will like. We pick a name based on an algorithm, and whoever you get assigned, you're going to assign them something that you think that they will like. So each of us are going to do a review here for what we last were assigned and we've watched since then. And it's going to be spoiler free. And it's going to be brief. And then we're going to...
The hell you say?
Yeah, as you say that now.
Listen, we really should start like a spin-off podcast where we just talk about movies. But this is not that podcast. So we're going to be brief and spoiler free, and then we're going to do new assignments for next time. And then we'll move on. So let me start, as I always love to do in this section, with the guy who was just talking his ass off, Todd Dillon.
Yes, sir.
Who had to watch The Gray Man, which I think was assigned by me.
All right, The Gray Man, spoiler free. Well, first, Bob, let me tell you this. You got a solid C+, B minus even. B minus. I thought it was a really good shoot 'em up action. The story is there's a guy who's in jail, and they kind of tiptoe around why he was in jail, but essentially he killed someone, and he's recruited by the CIA to be an assassin, a gray man, a person who doesn't really exist. There's no history on him. He has no real name, no pictures of him, and he goes around the world and performs these kind of covert missionary missions as an independent operator, kind of born supremacy without losing his memory.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling, Billy Bob Thornton, a couple other people you might know
That's
in the
a
show, in the
murderer's row
movie.
of actors, dude.
It is. It is. And that's why I give it such. It's if you like action, constant action fighting, beat 'em ups, that you're gonna love this. Love this. I'm surprised that I don't remember seeing them advertising it in theaters, but I'd never seen it before. But I thought it was really good. I mean, ultimately, a little bit unrealistic, of course, because people are getting shot, stabbed, and all manner of other maimed happening, and they still seem to be able to muster enough strength to kick the asses of 8 million people. And for whatever reason, at close quarters, nobody can shoot the bad guys can never shoot the good guy,
Right.
even when they're handcuffed to benches and can't move.
Todd, wait a second. Are you telling me that all the John Wick movies couldn't happen in real life?
It's so fun. It's not
Damn you,
as
Keanu.
bad as John Wick, but it's damn close. It's damn close. But I
Beautiful
like
son
the
of a
story.
bitch.
There's a little girl and it tugs at your heartstrings, and no spoilers. It does tug at your heartstrings. And the only thing that's a bit of a bummer, Bob, and the reason why I didn't get a higher score is because the main kind of antagonist, the total a-hole, you don't see him get his.
Yeah, sometimes you don't get to see justice done.
Yeah, I like if you're gonna do the hero's journey, I like to see the anti-hero get his justice.
That's fair. That's
especially being that how many other people got their justice.
I'll take the B-, man.
He said C-.
No, he did not.
I heard C.
I know what I heard.
It was originally a C+, and I bumped it up. I bumped it up because I would watch it again, and I would absolutely tell if you like action movies like that, you'll love it. And Ryan Gosling has got a nice little set of movies like that under his belt now. I think I wouldn't have pictured him doing those types of movies.
I didn't know where you're going there for a second, Todd.
Yeah. He's got a nice little set of dot. Yeah.
Nice little set of testes on that boy.
Dude, awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad you liked it. We're going to move on here. Corey, you had to watch
The Banker.
The 2020 Banker movie.
Finally, somebody saw a movie I signed.
Okay. I was like, wait a second. I'm like, when you said 2020, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the one I watched, but let me double check here.
Well, you would know if it wasn't the one that you were supposed to watch because there would have been loads of
exactly
TNA.
If the guy was murdering prostitutes, you're watching the wrong movie again.
Right.
That's what I watch on a regular Tuesday night, Todd.
Right.
No, so the Banker, based on a true story, which obviously, Todd, you know that's already up my alley. But and then on top of it, you got Samuel L. Jackson in it. So again,
who Todd has already said, he's on record as saying this is Samuel L. Jackson's greatest comedic role ever. And Samuel L. Jackson's been in like 455 films.
Yeah.
Snakes on a plane.
I don't know why you said that, but
yeah, I don't know why you'd even throw that in there.
That was comedic acting.
But you already said this was his greatest comedic. So why are you just naming lesser comedic acting roles?
Because
just
most of the time,
take your trophy and go home, sir.
It feels like I'm going to get a bad trophy, though. It
Well,
feels like
let's
I'm
find
getting
out.
a D- here. Let's do it. Corey, tell me about it.
No, man, it was a great movie. Especially the fact being based on a true story. Just the brilliance of these two guys and how they go about setting up their businesses in a time and a day and age that they probably wouldn't have thrived the way they did if they weren't as smart as they were. So to see that, and like I said, to know that there is some truth behind it, and some of the things did actually happen to these two guys. It's brilliant, and to be able to see that story and see it play out on the screen like that, it's a great movie.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I heard the word
golf
great
course.
several
The golf
times.
course scene. The golf course scenes that made me laugh my ass off every single time.
I'll give you that. Like I said, I don't know if it's Samuel L. Jackson's greatest comedy movie, but yeah,
that's what I heard.
There were some funny parts. There were definitely funny parts, but yeah, it wasn't like I was about to puke myself from laughter throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, I got it.
He's
I had appendicitis.
no-
I was laughing so hard.
Yeah,
He's no Anna Kunk.
that is true. That is she has a special ability.
Yeah.
But no, man, no, it was a great movie.
Thank you.
All
Glad
right.
you enjoyed it.
So I had to watch The Shield from Cory.
That's right,
from
yeah.
Cory. Yeah. Listen, I'm going to keep this is brief. The Shield has been on my, like, it's one of those, there's actually quite a number, for as much TV and movies as I watch, there's a number of like really, really good shows that everybody is surprised that I haven't seen, like The Shield, The Wire, Oz. They're just shows that I just haven't gotten to yet. So the fact that you assigned this to me, I was super excited because I'm like, finally I have a reason why like I need to watch this show. So the episodes are like 48, 50 minutes long, so I was only able to watch the first two. But there's a lot of, this was back in the mid 2000s, I think. when it came out.
Maybe even early 2000s. Yeah,
Maybe early 2000s, back when they had like every season had like 20 episodes.
yeah. There's a lot of episodes,
And each one was like almost an hour long. So there's a lot that I need to watch. And I'm just like scratching the surface by watching 2 hours of The Shield. But I kind of a mixed review because the first episode suffered because it's an old show. It's a 20-year-old show. And I'm like,
And they're just getting started.
They're just getting started, right? They hadn't really established the characters, and just watching episodes 1 and 2 of the first season, I'm like, I know that I need to give it more time to marinate, right, and for them to find their footing. And it's probably going to be like halfway through the first season. I'm sure they'll probably find their sweet spot where they're hitting their stride. But I'm definitely gonna run it all the way out. I just need to find the time to push other things aside and continue to watch this because. Michael Chiklis is fucking phenomenal in everything I've ever seen him do. And my boy, Walton Goggins, who was Boyd Crowder in Justified, one of the greatest TV shows I've ever seen. I'm like, he's in The Shield? I'm in.
And I get exactly what you're saying about, yeah, the first several episodes aren't the greatest, but they were just trying to find their footing.
Yeah.
But once the storyline gets going, it's hard to take yourself away from.
I've heard too many good things about it. I'm like, I'm willing to give this the time it needs to grow and flower and all that kind of stuff. So I really liked the first 2 episodes that I watched. I'm in it for the duration. I'm gonna watch it all. It's just a question of how long it's gonna take.
Oh, so you'll hit a certain point where you're gonna be like, oh, okay, now
we're cooking.
Now once I have the free time
Yeah.
and I can sit down and watch TV for the day, that's what I'm turning on.
Yeah. And sometimes it takes those shows where you're like, oh man, I need to take a break from the show because it's just not clicking for me. And other times you're like, I want to like call Cory and Todd and Nick and just say like, hey, I can't make it to the podcast tonight.
I gotta watch this show.
I'm watching The Shield. So well done, sir. I'll give it a A- only because I know it's going to be great. I'm not but I know it's going to get there.
Yeah, it takes a second, but
Yeah.
once it does, it's like I said, you won't be able to pull yourself away.
All right.
It's like a fine wine, Bob.
That's right.
Love that fine wine. All right, so new assignments for next time. Let's see. Where am I looking here? I got Cory. Cory's got Todd. And Todd's got me. That is what we
The
have
Wire.
here. What?
The Wire, easy.
You're already assigning me The Wire?
I am.
Okay.
Because you're
Now,
gonna, if you're gonna be if you like The Shield, you're gonna freaking get crushed.
No,
here now.
I get it, but you understand, like, I need to watch like 98% still of The Shield.
Yep, doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
okay. All right.
I'm going for. I need a slam dunk. I mean, Cory hooked
Why
me
do
up
you need a
tonight.
slam
I
dunk?
like.
You got a good record.
I love winning. I love winning.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Always a competition with Todd.
Yes.
All right. So Cory, you got Todd. Any thoughts, prayers,
So
condolences?
I just rewatched Dave again on FX.
I love Dave.
Oh, you've
he's
seen it?
Seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I assigned it to you.
All right. So while you're looking, then
Well,
you
hey,
look some more.
Hey, have you ever watched It's Always Sunny?
Yes. Love
All right.
that.
While you're looking, I'll pose a couple questions for you. Have you seen Cory? Have you seen the original Tron?
Yes.
You have.
Yes, I have.
All right. Have you seen Afterlife? Afterlife is it's a show with Ricky Gervais from the British Office.
No, I have not seen that.
Let's do that.
Afterlife?
Yeah. There are 2 words in the title. So
okay.
after space, life.
Gotcha.
And I'm doing this because I know you're a big Office fan, but I think that The Office, you're a fan of the U.S. Office.
I mean, I've watched the British version.
And that's why I'm like, okay, I think therefore you might do well with this.
All right. Todd, have you ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I have.
God, I'm just... This
The
is
good
killing
news
me.
is
Do you want me-
the good news is you're lucky because I don't like it. As much as I love every actor in it.
Wait, you didn't like Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Nope.
Oh, that's rough. I'm glad I'm missing out on that bad grade then.
It's too on the nose. It's kind of like
on the nose.
It's too.
It's a comedy.
It's too slapsticky. Too
Slapsticky. So
I like all the actors in it. Never ever liked one episode that I saw. Not
I guess to be fair, fuck me.
You did it to yourself, buddy.
I did do it to myself completely. Wait, can I play the?
Gotta find the button now.
God damn it! Where's the button? Where is the button?
Oh, this is just
Did I remove the button?
gets funnier and
To
funnier.
be fair,
I see the year 3000. I see the TD Wieners.
Hit that one. I like that one. while you're looking.
I might have removed it.
Why?
What?
Oh no, there it is.
You can't get rid of that one.
To be fair.
To be fair.
There is one thing
to
they
be
say
fair.
about us
Shut the fuck up.
in the Philippines.
Shut the fuck up, Cory.
Our comedic timing is amazing.
Andy Samberg,
Yes.
if you're not a fan, would
I'm a
definitely.
huge fan.
Hold on a minute. So you're a huge fan of Andy Samberg, but you
Love
don't
him.
like Brooklyn
Nope.
Nine-Nine?
I think it's horrible. Nope.
He's in
Get back in your
90%
wheelchair.
of he's in almost every
I
scene.
understand. Yeah, and it's horrible.
Why is it horrible?
Horrible.
Why is it horrible?
Too slapsticky on the freaking nose. Hate
But
it.
you love Andy
Don't like
Samberg.
Love him.
That he traffics
To
in
death.
that.
Yep.
And by the way, Andre Brower, the late great
Love him. I know.
R.I.P.
Yep. Yep.
is
Yep.
not
I know.
he's anything but slapsticky. You hate
I
him
know.
too?
In that show.
What the fuck?
Yep. Don't like it.
All right.
Terry Crews?
I mean, if you want to give it, if you want to give it to me, if you want to earn an F, assign it to me.
Well, no, you said you already watched it.
Assign me
That's
specific episodes. I mean, if you're gonna, ultimately you can assign me specific episodes.
Do you
Every
want some
time I
ideas?
turn it on, I'm like,
do you want me
nope.
to tell you a couple that are on my list for Todd?
No, because I got one already that
Go ahead.
I know he hasn't seen.
Okay.
I was trying to go funny with you, Todd, and give you something
Yeah,
to
but fuck you.
lift
Now
your
you're
spirits
getting,
a little bit.
You're getting
Now we're going dark side, buddy. We're going to the dark side.
Uh-oh. Hail
something
Satan
from the
2?
Holocaust.
No, not that dark. The Playboy murders
The Playboy. I haven't seen that.
on Max.
Okay.
All right, got it. Guys, we're at like 104. Todd, do you have to go?
Wow. It's dark outside, so I don't think it matters at this point. But no, I'm good. What do you want to do? What do we got?
Well, we could do one question.
Let's do a question.
Let's keep
Let's
rolling.
do a question.
I think we're good.
I'm trying to be respectful of people's
I got
time.
it. It's already dark out here, so let's do a question. I'm good.
All right, let's go into it.
Existential question of the week.
All right, we're going to do one question here before we close the show. And here is the question. And I am going to shoot it to Todd Dillon first in case he decides he needs to run with his
I'm
hand
not
fire
gonna run.
off the show.
Nope.
Because we've been on the phone for a while.
We're on the phone?
Are we?
We're on video.
I thought we were in the switcherverse.
No, we're on the phone, Todd.
Listen, if you want to, this could take all night, or you could let me read the question.
I have nothing to do.
Todd Dillon, here's your question.
Yes, sir.
What
Yes, sir.
is the dumbest way you've injured yourself? Now,
Besides the lift and cut.
let me make sure that people are clear about this. This isn't someone else injuring you. This isn't you being injured by something someone else did. This is you've injured yourself. What's the dumbest way that you've injured yourself? Now, there may be many ways you've injured yourself. In looking at this question, I've reflected on that and been really shocked and dismayed at the fact that I have to choose between many ways that I have injured myself to find which one was the dumbest.
Yep.
So,
Got it. I have the question. Originally, I was gonna talk about, and I've shared this on the show before, where I had a manscaping incident that rendered me unconscious. But I think truly the dumbest way that I've injured myself was there was a time when I tried to take a shortcut to losing a couple pounds, and so I had begun taking the hydroxycut.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And so I was taking like a weight loss supplement, and I had the brilliant idea because it wasn't working, but I'm like, oh, it's not working, but I'll double up on it. And I essentially took twice the recommended amount, and I ended up paralyzing my. I know it's bad for you, Cory. It's
bad for the heart, buddy.
And it's bad for your colon and and I basically ended up paralyzing my colon, and so I stopped being able to digest food, and it kind of manifested itself in a situation where I was actually, Bob, you remember when I used to drive from Michigan to Ohio all the time to see customers?
Yes, sir.
I was on one of my trips down to Columbus, and I made it about halfway there, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like total dog shit. And I ended up having to I checked into a hotel off the highway, and literally I called our boss at the time, Fletch, and I go, yeah, just, I checked into a hotel just now. I'm going to die tonight because I was like, he's like, go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm too tired to go to the hospital, and I'm too embarrassed to tell him what I did to myself. I don't know exactly what it is, but I've been taking these drugs, and he's like, you're taking drugs, and I'm like, yeah, and I think they're killing me. And so anyway, it turns out I spent the next 2 days holed up in a hotel room thinking I was going to die until I finally was able to, after not being able to eat, stand, or do anything for 2 days, I made my way back home, never ever made it to Ohio, went to the hospital, and I'm like, oh, you paralyzed your whole digestive system. So dumbest thing I've ever done, and didn't lose a pound, just almost killed myself.
All right.
So what was that first poop like?
Oh, it was magnificent.
I'm sure. I'm very sure.
All right. I can go next. Dumbest way, and again, it's really sad that I had to determine which one of the ways that I've injured myself was the dumbest. But this is probably it. A few years ago, my Uncle Jim passed away, and my dad had long ago passed away, and this was his youngest brother and the last of the brothers to be left on this earth, and he passed, and so he was especially close to me. So my sisters and I all ended up going down to Virginia to hang out with his kids and their families to sort of a celebration of life thing. And long story short, while we were down there, it was I hadn't seen them for years and years. A few of them had come up to my dad's funeral, but some of them I hadn't seen since, long ago. So needless to say, lots of hugging, lots of reminiscing, storytelling, and drinks, and really good weather made it such that we're all feeling pretty good, myself especially. And so we were staying in an Airbnb. We'd rented a place, and my cousin has a Jeep, which is lifted off the ground. A lot of mods on the Jeep. I also own a Jeep, but mine's just a straight Wrangler, with very few modifications. So we needed to go back to the Airbnb, and my cousin had not been drinking, and so she's like, "Hey, I'll give you guys a ride." So got in the car with my sisters and I, and she drove us back to the Airbnb. And when we got there in the driveway, which was a pea gravel driveway, I got out of the car, and because of the amount that I've been drinking, I thought that I was in my own Jeep.
Not so much.
I forgot that I was in a Jeep that was, first of all, lifted off the ground, and secondly, and most importantly, that he had removed his running boards.
Oh, no.
So I stepped out I was in the passenger seat, stepped out with my right foot onto what I thought was the running board, which was non-existent, and fucking pitched forward onto the pea gravel. And I ended up cutting the living fuck out of my upper lip, and I didn't realize it. I got up off the ground. I'm like, I'm fine. And my sister's like, holy shit.
No, you are not.
We need to get right back in the car right now and go right to the
Go
hospital.
to the hospital.
And that's exactly what I did. Got 13 stitches in my lip, which hurt like it's one of the most painful things I've ever had, because I had no idea how many nerves there are in your upper lip.
I could tell you about it.
Well, and so when Todd, you had your incident with the pooches, I felt a special kinship with you. That
Yes.
I knew exactly how much this probably hurt you to fix.
So funny
Yes.
thing that the three of us have in common. We've all
that's
had.
full.
Sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
We've all had very serious lip injuries.
Really? All three of us?
So because the story you just told.
Yeah.
Todd with the dogs.
Yep.
And then I took a hockey skate to the face, and that
On the upper lip?
bottom
Bottom lip.
my chin and my lip. And yeah, when they go
How
to
many stitches you get?
I think it was 23. Yeah.
Painful as fuck.
Oh, dude, it wasn't even so much the stitches. It was the anesthesia.
The numbing of the right.
When they put that, because you can't go straight in, because
Of course not.
They have to go sideways into the very thin layer of
Yeah,
skin.
but before that, they have to numb it completely. And the number of, I think I counted, again, I was half in the bag when this happened, but I counted.
It's probably a good thing.
I counted 9 shots to my face.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt
to
that.
completely numb. And I'm like, well, at this point, 9 shots to the face, like, you might as well just cut my head off. It would hurt less than what you just did to me. Just cut my head right off. Clearly, I don't need what's happening above the neck anyway. It didn't help me tonight.
Well, it got to a certain point too for me that when they were putting the shots in, they didn't cover every inch of what they should have.
Yeah.
And when they were doing the stitches, I could feel them actually doing the stitches, like not just the pressure of it. And I started wincing. He's like, "Oh, can you feel that?" I'm like, "I can." I'm like, "But just keep just keep going with that rather than putting more shots in."
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd rather feel the stitches going in than get another one of those shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad that I didn't know this information when I was thinking about the name for the show. I might have made it a little more relevant to all of the
lip stitch
facial reconstruction we've had. Lip stitch.
Exactly.
You still need to answer the question though. So, but before we do that, why don't we do this shot? That's very, very full.
Yeah, Todd, fill yourself up real quick. Sorry, buddy.
No worries.
I guess you could start telling the story.
Yeah, I apologize.
Start it.
We got to figure out if
it's
this
okay.
light situation.
It's all right. We'll figure it out.
So my stupidest injury that I brought upon myself, I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And there was a neighbor next door. He was a little bit older than I think Dave was probably about 10 when I was 6. But since he was the neighbor, that's who I hung out with. And we were playing around in the neighbor's backyard one day. We kicked like a soccer ball or something over the fence. And Dave was like, oh, just jump the fence and grab it. I'm like, oh, no, I'll go around. He's like, just jump the fence. I'm like, okay.
So you're dumb because you listened to him.
Well, that, and I had also never jumped a fence before because I was 6.
All right, hold on.
I can't imagine how tall you were either.
You ready, Todd? With
Taller than you are now.
Oh, come
ready.
on, boys.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Cheers.
Salute. And I have
Let's
to
get
step
to the
away
warm
because I have to
side.
pee.
No worries. All right, keep going, Cory.
So he was like, hey, just jump the fence, grab it, and jump back over. I was like, yeah, you know what? Of course, him being an older neighbor, I'm want to impress the older guys that I hang out with.
Sure.
So I climb up the cyclone fence, and rather than just throwing my feet over like a normal grown person would, again, no experience hopping a fence, I stood up on top of it, and I went to go jump off and like threw my feet, and my shoelaces got caught.
Oh, no.
And I came down, and there was a pile of bricks that the neighbors had right underneath the fence line.
Whoa.
And my shoelace caught, and I just went forearms down into this pile of bricks. And I got up, and I was in so much shock of what just happened. I was like, oh, I felt stupid. I felt hurt. So Dave I remember he looked at me. He's like, hey, man, we should go in the house and get some ice. And I was like,
That'll fix it.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
The ice.
So we went in the house, got ice, and he would have just took an ice cube tray and put it underneath my arm.
Yeah.
He's like, you're okay? I'm like, yeah, I everything's fine. Like my arm, I definitely hit it, but so we walked out of the neighbor's driveway.
Yeah.
To my mom and his mom that were sitting on my family's porch. They clearly knew right away that we were in the other neighbor's backyard, and how did we get over there without going around and them seeing us come out around the house?
Yeah.
And I'm holding this tray to my arm. Yeah, and so we walk over to him, and Dave goes, Cory just hopped the fence and slipped, and he hurt himself. And so I moved the ice tray away.
And I'll see you later.
And I remember Mrs. Crossan and my mom,
Yeah.
their eyes just got insanely wide, and they were like almost visibly sick. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I still don't know what's going on. So my mom ran out. She's like, Mike, got to take Cory to the hospital. And he turned around and saw it. He's like, oh. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to shower real quick.
Your dad is the best.
And my mom was like, are you serious? And he's like, well, yeah.
I smell good.
He's like, I've been sweating my ass off. I got paint all over me. He was painting in the basement at the time.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably one of the very few moments I saw my mom get very, very, very upset with my dad.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, we're going. And so we got in the Crosslands van. And I remember the entire ride to the hospital. Like every time we hit a bump, I was like, oh, that really hurts. And got to the hospital. Come to find out, my bone was sticking out of my forearm and penetrated the skin.
Yeah.
And so they had to reset my arm and everything like that. And
How'd that feel?
oh, I passed out. Oh, dude, having a bone reset. As a matter
I'm
of
glad
fact,
you went last.
I can't.
I would have felt stupid
Oh,
telling
shit.
my story after hearing what happened to you.
I can barely even talk about it because just the thought of that happening, and I remember the feeling when they did that, because they can't push you out for it because they need your actual resistance of your human nature to pull away from the pain.
Push back.
Yeah, or push or pull, whatever the case might be.
Right.
They need that, so they can't knock you out for it.
Yeah.
And having that done, like I said, I can feel something coming up my throat right now because.
Oh my gosh.
And then
That's horrible.
The worst part.
Go ahead.
The worst part. They set it. Everything started fusing. The first appointment I had to get my cast taken off, it was set wrong and my arm was curved.
They had to break it again.
They had to re-break it.
Oh, motherfucker.
Oh,
That made me feel worse. Like my butthole puckered a little bit. Then the first time that you had to.
And you want to know how they do that?
No, I don't.
They just laid me
We
down.
could end the show
They just
right
laid
now.
me down on the table, and
No.
the doctor literally put his knee over it and just popped it. Yeah. And again, had to be fully awake. And the second that happened,
Who's your
again,
doctor, Kevorkian?
Mengele. Frank
Yeah.
Mengele.
It was something.
Well, that seems like a perfect place to end this episode.
No doubt.
on
I
a
had two
note of
dumber
Sadness and
That's
horror.
bad.
So needless to say, it took me quite some time to ever hop a fence again.
Yeah. Yeah, you learned your lesson.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we'll see you next time. On behalf of everybody, we'll just say everybody.
There you go.
Nick, Cory, and Todd. See you next time. Peace out.
5,000 G.